Hey guys, it's Tanner with Tech Talk with Tanner. Today we're going to show you how to install an integrated headset. So we're going to start off by unboxing the headset. This is an Odyssey headset, and they actually lay these out to how they should go on. So out of the box, it's going to come with a bottom race. Most of you guys won't need this just because this is for older forks that don't have a built-in race. So a lot of the times you'll be able to just discard that. The next is the bearing. That will actually either sit on that if you have an older fork, or on newer forks it will sit on the actual 45-degree angled race. And then you have your other bearing with your top race. The top race is always a little bit smaller and is a lot thinner and goes down further. That kind of locks everything together. And you have your top cap and then your spacers. So the first thing you want to do is you want to look and see if your fork is actually has a built-in race on it, or if it doesn't have a built-in race on it. So on this you can see there's a 45-degree angle right there. That's so the bearing can sit on there. Whoops. Okay. So you'll see the bearing will actually sit down on there perfect, because on the inside of the bearing there's that angle, and that angle will meet up right with the fork. So to get started, what you want to do is you want to make sure everything's greased. Where there's metal on metal, there needs to be grease. So you want to grease the race. And then you want to grease the cups on your frame. This will actually kind of help seal the frame too, so no water or moisture can get into the head tube. Even though you have little gyro tabs, it still helps a little bit. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is take your bottom bearing, put it down on there, make sure it seats all the way, and then you can put your fork into the frame. Make sure that seats all the way, and you kind of got to push on it a little bit to make sure that bearing's all the way in there. Then grab your top bearing, make sure your top bearing's all the way down, and then your top race. This is a very important part. This kind of locks everything together, so you don't have that wiggle anymore. Once that has pressure on it, it will completely lock your headset together. Then you'll want to do the top cap, keeps out dust and all the other crap you don't want in there. Alright, and now you want to make sure that your steer tube is long enough. You can put your stem on. Where that sticks out too far, you're going to need to put some spacers on the underside. There's a couple of reasons why you would put the spacers on the top, like so. That's if you have like a carbon fork, you don't want to cut the steer tube, you don't have a way to cut the steer tube, but you still want your bars down, or if the bike's a little big and you want to size the bike down for a little bit and you know you're going to grow into it, so you can eventually put these under the stem. So in this case, we're going to put them under the stem, so you know that you'll need all three of those spacers. Pop those guys on there. Alright, and put the stem back on, and you want the steer tube just right under the top of the stem. The highest you would want to go is just about 5-6 mil under the stem. Anything after that is dangerous. You do not want to do that, because you can actually just pull your stem right off your steer tube, and that would suck. So now you want to put your top cap back on. Put a little thread on. And then snug it up just a little bit. You don't want to over tighten this, because if you do, you can crush your bearings and ruin your brand new headset. So now you can check to see if there's any play. Bars still move pretty freely. Okay, now you're going to want to put everything back together, and I'll show you how to check it on the ground. Alright, after you get your bike down, or flipped right side up, depending on how you're working on your bike. You're going to want to check your headset. You want to make sure that it's tight enough to where there's no play, but not too tight where you're causing damage to the bearings. So an easy way to do that is if you just sit on the bike, and you can hold the brake. If you don't have brakes, you can just rock back and forward. And if you can see that there's play in the headset, you can actually feel it too. You're going to need to tighten the compression cap just a little bit. Just right to the point where there's no play. There's still a little play. You can go like a quarter turn at a time. Still a little bit. Okay, now we're good. And then you want to bring your handlebars up and make sure they're still spinning freely so you know you didn't over tighten it. Then make sure you're straight. Alright, bars are lined up with the forks. Alright, now you can tighten your pinch bolts, kind of locking everything together. These you can go pretty tight. You don't want to go crazy tight on them, but you can snug them up to where you know they're not going to move. Okay, double check. Alright, and you're all set. Okay, this is the headset laid out next to a head tube. Just so you can see, there's the bottom bearing that sits in the bottom. Then you have your top bearing, your top race, which is extremely important. We get those in the shop. We get headsets in the shop all the time that don't have those, so make sure that goes in and is seated all the way. Then you have your dust cap or your top cap, and then your spacers, however many you need, in the stem. Okay, so we were going to show you a fork that doesn't have an integrated race on it. It's just going to have a little flat lip on there, and that's when you're going to want to use the race that comes with the headset. You can just put that on there, and there's actually a special tool that will help seat that all the way, but like I said earlier, probably not a lot of you are going to be using one of those. It's only for older forks, like race forks and stuff like that. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any BMX tech tips or tutorials you want us to do, just comment below. Thanks.